Before we begin Unit 8, here is the answer to the Unit 7 question. The best answer is choice A.
Developed by Paul Ehrlich and John Holdren, the IPAT model maintains that a society's population, affluence, or technology will increase its environmental impact or footprint. It should be noted that although the form of government may influence each of the IPAT model factors, it is not a determining factor in itself. Unit 8. Who is responsible for the world?
We've been taught to take care of what belongs to us, as well as the things that we are responsible for. However, what we're responsible for is not always clearly defined.
The famous ecologist Garrett Hardin termed the degradation of open access or community property as the tragedy of the commons.
The reason that open access areas become degraded is because each of us feels the small impact we may have will not make much of a difference.
In addition, we rarely consider the task of keeping common areas clean to be our own personal responsibility.
Any teacher that has been assigned cafeteria duty knows exactly what we're talking about. When you ask a student to pick up and throw away some trash left on a table, 9 times out of 10 you hear the phrase,
"But that's not mine."
Unfortunately, the problem observed in school cafeterias pales in comparison to the degradation of worldwide common areas such as our atmosphere, land, rivers, and oceans.
Even if countries do all that they can to protect the environments contained within their specific jurisdictions, rare occurrences in themselves, what happens to all other areas of the world?
Obviously, cooperation between countries involving clear communication and a full understanding of global environmental issues are necessary if we are to address the tragedy of the commons and move toward a sustainable future.
So where does the responsibility lie?
As mentioned in the introductory units of this training program, not everyone shares the same set of core values.
As a result, there are different ideologies as to what role humans should play in the overall scheme of things and the degree to which we are responsible for our planet.
Some people believe that human beings are the master species. They feel that because of our ability to think and reason, we should have dominion over all other species and the planet itself.
This anthropocentric viewpoint places the human race apart from nature and argues that the Earth exists to fulfill our needs.
Supporters of this view trust that human ingenuity and technology will allow us to indefinitely customize the environment without consequence.
Others, however, feel that this view is too selfish and believe that although we may be the most influential species on the planet, humans have an ethical responsibility to manage the world's resources in a responsible manner.
This biocentric viewpoint maintains that economic growth and development are worthwhile and necessary efforts, but these activities must be done in ways that limit or reduce environmental degradation.
A third ideology regards humans as part of nature and maintains that the world exists for all species.
According to this egocentric viewpoint, humans depend on nature for their existence and have no right to alter environmental conditions at the expense of other species.
Proponents of this view feel that even with all of our technology, sustaining our species will depend on our ability to understand how Earth's life support systems work and how well we adhere to the rules by which those systems function.
We've obviously been operating under an anthropocentric ideology. However, it's becoming quite apparent that we will not be able to do so much longer.
We're overpopulating the planet. Technology is failing to provide us with the means to adequately feed our soaring population. Resources such as fresh water and clean air are becoming increasingly scarce. Pollution in many parts of the world is becoming a leading cause of death and disease, and human-induced climate change threatens to reduce biodiversity.
This simply cannot continue.
So who is responsible for the world and setting things right again? It appears that humans assumed this responsibility the instant we started changing the planet to suit our own needs.
The only way to relieve our species of this burden is to completely regenerate the Earth systems that we have disrupted and return to a purely sustainable lifestyle.
It would be wonderful if this was possible. However, we all realize that doing so is just as illogical as staying the course.
As someone once said, we've come too far, too fast.
We can, however, put on the brakes, slow down, and start heading in a better direction.
Optimistic people dream of a sustainable society in which the current and future resource needs of all the Earth's inhabitants are met without compromising the ability of future generations to enjoy the same quality of life.
Science indicates that this is possible, and we must believe that it is, if we are to survive as a species.
That is why the role of today's educators is so important. If the next generation of leaders can be made aware of the realities of what they will be facing, they will have the opportunity to adapt their research, economic strategies, and life activities in ways that we never dreamed possible.
They will be capable of molding a society that exists in harmony with its living and non-living environment.
Ultimately, our children will be responsible for the world, but we have an even greater responsibility. We are responsible for how they are taught, what they will learn, and upon what values they will base their future decisions.
We are responsible for them.
Here is your question for Unit 8.
What is the most compelling argument for why teachers should infuse environmental education into their instruction?
Choice A. Students must embrace the same principles and values held by their teachers.
Choice B. Teachers must adhere to current state and district mandates.
Choice C. The next generation will inherit the responsibility of developing and achieving a sustainable society.
Or Choice D. Students must learn how to influence today's governmental leaders to change their economic growth mentality.
The answer and explanation are provided at the beginning of Unit 9.